Hi, and welcome to another edition of Danny Brown Talks Phoenix. I am your host, Danny Brown. And today I am joined by Eileen Spitalny. She's the co-founder of Fairytale Brownies, which I love Fairytale Brownies, and most of our audience is recipients of Fairytale Brownies often.
Thank you.
So why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Well, I am actually a Phoenix native, and my business partner is also. So we've been friends since kindergarten.
Wow.
So a little bit about myself. I grew up in Phoenix, went away to college in LA, and then my friend and I decided we were a little frustrated with our corporate jobs and decided to start a business together. And we really wanted to start a brand. We wanted to kind of invent something, and that's how we started Fairytale Brownies. I mean, there's many stories along with that, but that's pretty much me in a nutshell. And then my husband, actually, I've known since 7th grade, and he was he helped me in the beginning so he could see me, and he actually then became our first baker as well. So it's a lot of family and friends to make it happen
I'll say.
in the beginning.
So you wanted to start a brand. So did you guys have an idea of what you wanted to start when you started, or you just knew you wanted to go into business? Like, how did Fairytale Brownies evolve?
It was a little of both. So actually, in high school, David, my partner, and I, we worked really well together doing high school projects or homework. And we had a friend that worked at Baskin Robbins, and we would trade homework for ice cream. So we knew we worked well together because I kind of always saw the big picture, in homework, and he's like, oh, that means we need to use this formula. So we're like, oh, and then kind of we continue to stay friends and just really always compatible, but different skill sets. So we said, hey, maybe someday we should start a business together. And growing up, his mom was such a great cook. She had these brownies, and it was actually like they would tease her, oh, you could be like Mrs. Fields and sell your brownies. So fast forward, we're like, yeah, we're frustrated with our corporate jobs. What should we do? And then we're like, well, maybe we should do that brownie thing with your moms. Because the other idea was to teach computer skills to children, because that's when it was first starting, which sounds so archaic and old now. But in 1992, that was a new thing.
Yeah.
And that I guess just didn't really seem as exciting. Again, we just wanted to create a brand. We thought we could be the Ben and Jerry's of brownies. So we took her family recipe and wanted it to be the best in the world. And so we thought we'd bake brownies and have fun. And baking brownies, which now is millions of brownies, is manufacturing. So we have it's manufacturing and marketing, but we really just started because we wanted to create something. So the goal was to make the best brownies. We tested it with chocolate from all over the world, and since the beginning in '92, we've always baked with Callebaut Belgian chocolate, and then we've always been all natural in our ingredients. And kind of fast forward to now, is what we all kind of want in everything we put in our mouths, even if it's an indulgence.
Yeah, there's a big push towards going to all natural and organic. So are Fairytale Brownies then organic?
They're not organic because every ingredient is not certified organic, but pretty much. I mean, but they're definitely, there's no preservatives or things you cannot pronounce in any of our brownies. And then we have cookies and Blondie Bars too.
Wow. So why don't you tell me then a little bit about the different iterations to get to where you're at today? I'm sure that you faced a lot of challenges and there was ups and downs, especially if it sounds like you have 3 partners in the business, including yourself.
There's just 2. I just have one partner.
Okay.
My friend since kindergarten, David. So David and I, so the iterations. So in the beginning, we did write a business plan because my background, my degree is in Spanish and business, and I went to USC, and David went to Stanford and has an engineering degree. So we did write a business plan because we knew that was the smart thing to do, and we didn't have enough money, so we had to go to the bank, so you have to business plan. So in the beginning, we thought it was all these coffee shops, and so we would bake brownies and deliver them to the coffee shops and make money that way. But when we would visit them a week later, if they hadn't sold them all, because we were very particular, first impressions and creating a brand, we would take them back. And we're like, oh my gosh, if we're always, not selling and picking them, how are we ever going to pay the rent? And at the same time, to try and get the word out about Fairytale Brownies, we did all the farmers markets and street fairs. And so what we quickly kind of learned is the audience and the people that we met, because there's so much tourism here, they're like, oh, these are so good. Can I get some of these when I get back to New York? Or, I'm just traveling, or what other, stores that you're at? And so we just kind of quickly said, maybe we should go after, how do we get a whole dozen to your house back in New York? So we switched to mail order pretty quickly. And back then it was direct marketing, and now it's, digital and everything. So we, the farmers markets kind of led us to start asking for people's names and addresses. And then we got involved with mail order in the traditional sense of catalogs and cataloging. So, in the beginning, a lot of our business was here in Arizona. But we knew to be smart as a business and to weather the storms, that to have more business outside Arizona. So we worked really proactively on that, and we do mail order and ship worldwide, the brownies.
Wow, worldwide. So
Yes.
brownies must travel well then.
They do the way we do them. They're all individually wrapped in their nice little film, and then we design all our packaging as well, so they fit our product very nicely. We have 3 sizes of brownies, so it's kind of designed, if it's the big brownie, the half-size Sprite, or the little one's morsel, and then we try to be efficient with the packaging. And yeah, we make it really, really easy. And I guess another great iteration is that the cataloging went along, and then this thing called the internet came along. Yeah. And so we were the first to buy Brownies and Brownie and Fairytale.com. And so Brownies.com is where we do our e-commerce.
Do you think that was probably the smartest business move you made, was buying that domain name?
Yes, it was definitely one of them.
Yeah.
I think it was really smart for us to be, all natural from the beginning, so we weren't shifting, and to go after this internet thing, because So it was definitely because it's where, now we still own, I don't know, 20 or 30 domain names,
Sure.
and they all go
direct
there.
there.
But yeah, having brownies.com is
That's
very
huge.
easy. Yeah.
Do you ever have any companies kind of come at you to try and buy that domain name from you?
No, we thought
really?
we'd get just some.
Oh, wow.
No, it'd be wonderful, maybe. We could. But no, we haven't. But it is interesting, just the shift. There's so many people doing food and food online. So we
Yes.
are glad we have brownies. And it's great to have competition. And here in Phoenix, we're friends with a lot of people that are our competition, which is great. The only time it has been strange in the past is we've had people come for tours, and we're very open, and then to have them go back and sort of copycat. So that's the only, sometimes in business, the unfortunate thing. But
Sure.
you just have to continue to market and thinking of what's next, and just don't worry about that.
So do you do you make everything here in Phoenix then?
We do. So we do. Yeah, we do everything. Our bakery's on 48th Street and Broadway. So, back to the iterations. We started in a friend's catering kitchen, and then we were in 1,000 square feet on 68th Street and Thomas, and then 2,000 over there. And then we moved out to Chandler, and we were in 10,000 square feet. And then we finally took the plunge and bought our own real estate, built a building, and we're in the Cotton Center on 48th Street and
I know
Broadway.
right where that's at, yeah.
So we're in a 37,000 square foot building.
Wow.
Yeah, we've been there 15 years now. And for the first 12 years, we had a tenant, which was great to help pay, for this construction that we did, like at the height of construction time. So another learning thing.
Yeah.
So we had this great tenant, which was wonderful. And so we do everything ourselves. We do the baking, the shipping, we design the packaging. We have our own internal call center, our IT, our server room, and anybody is always, we're kind of open Monday through Friday there, 9 to 3. So you can always come in. It's kind of, big building with a little store, and then you can see the baking through the windows in there. And then every year in October, because that's the month we started our business, we do a annual open house, and we save rejects, which is usually brownies that aren't so pretty. And then we, as a company, we work with a nonprofit, Kaboom. And so in the afternoon of that day, we donate all the funds from the rejects and 20% of the sales. And that's fun, because I think this past open house we had, we raised $5,000 or $6,000
Wow.
in a few hours, which was great. Cause,
Yeah, absolutely.
Because, it helps build playgrounds is what we do. And it's
I think it's important for businesses, small businesses, to give back to the community that has helped them, move forward. So that's wonderful.
Yeah.
How many employees do you guys have now?
We have about 40 year round, and then at the holidays it goes up to 150, 60, 70.
Wow.
Yes, yeah. We so back to the beginning, like we didn't even know how to bake. We just wanted to bake David's mom's brownies, and then we figured that out, and now we bake and ship over 7 million brownies a year, and half of those brownies are literally shipped all over the world the first 2 or 3 weeks of December. So it takes the whole rest of the year to do. So I like to say that we're like brownie farmers. So it's like kind of the harvest is the holiday season for us. Yeah, I guess I don't know what else I was going to say. Yeah.
That's crazy.
It is crazy. Yeah, so the employee size. Yeah, so the like our kitchen crew is probably 6 year round, and then goes to say 20 or 30, because we're baking 22 hours a day. I think 20 batches, a day, and, different sizes and flavors. And then our shipping team has to grow exponentially because we're building pallets of gifts. And then customer service towards the end, in the season, it grows because people are sending in their lists. So it's, we've gotten good at it. I mean, in the beginning when we started, I was saying our open houses in October because that's our anniversary. So we started our business in the fall, and the holidays came, and it was so great. And we're like, oh, this is so smart, the brownie business. And then January came, and everybody's on a diet, and nobody called. And we're like, oh my gosh, wait. And then Valentine's Day, and then so in the beginning, we didn't really realize it till maybe into year, I don't know, 1, 2. But we're like, oh my gosh, we're a seasonal business, and we definitely did not mean to do that when we started. But that was really one of our learning curves. So you learn a lot about staffing and cash flow and projections for packaging and all sorts of things that that you weren't set out to, I don't know, that you didn't know, but you just go with it. I mean, David
kind of
and I,
trial by fire.
Yeah. We've never really been one to give up. We just want to learn and grow. But our employees, we have people that have been with us. So if we've been in business 28 years. We have employees that have been with us 25 years. A girl,
Wow.
Kim Silva, she was a senior at ASU, helped me on Friday at Borgata's farmers markets, and then decided to stay. And now she pretty much, runs the show.
That's a real testament to probably your company culture that people have been there for upwards of 25 years.
We do think that. We do hope so. It's very, very important to us. And we even have seasonal people that have been with us for 10 years. So the culture is very important to us because that's where we all go every day. And two, we've always wanted to grow, so we want our employees to understand and be able to make decisions on their own. It's really an empowered workplace is our goal, so that people feel good about making decisions on their own and they're doing the right thing for Fairytale Brownies and their fellow employees. But
I think that's wonderful. I try to do that in my own business, is allow my team to, I try to empower them to make decisions that's ultimately going to be in the best interests of our clients. And I really feel like if you treat people like adults and allow them to rise to the occasion, that more often than not they will. And if they don't, then you've probably hired the wrong people.
Right. Then you learn the other thing. Well, maybe it's not the right fit for them or for you. But yeah, right. It's like just learning that they will rise to the occasion. And at first you get a little nervous. Oh, let them do it. They might make a mistake. But they learn. That's how you learn. Yeah.
Absolutely.
We have everybody read a book called Empowerment Takes More Than a Minute when you start with Fairytale Brownies, and then 30 days later, we do have a quiz, but it's really just to talk about it with your team leader, and it just helps all the employees kind of filter what the essence of like the goal of their team is. So whether you're with customer service, we have a $100 empowerment policy. There's a problem, you don't have to ask, or whether you're in the kitchen, and well, it looks funny, I should probably just reject it versus like just trying to let it go through. Because if you let a brownie like that go through and then we ship it and a customer calls and like, oh, there's a little corner, then our customer service center is trained to just ship them a box, no charge. So we just try to share everybody the essence why this is how we think and how you can make decisions on your own in each department. And that book really helped us. And the other one we have everybody read is Raving Fans, because we really try to, I was just explaining it to an employee today, because they loved how we took the approach. The delivery was going to be late, and it wasn't our fault. But we really wanted to do the right thing. And like I was sharing with her, we are going to overnight some of those boxes, what they need, because then this weekend when they're telling the story to friends, like, hey, I called this company, it's not like, hey, I called this company. And then when I told them my situation that I did, the way I ordered, and then now they're late. We want them to say, hey, I called this company, and then they heard I needed half of them early, and they just sent them to me, no questions asked. And so we've always tried to, that's part of the filter down. We're always trying to, we're trying to make fairy tale happiness wherever we go.
Yeah, well, I mean, I think it's all, the best advertising that you can get is that word of mouth marketing. Mm-hmm. And when people have a positive experience like that, I know I'm one to talk about it. Right. I tell everybody if I have a great experience with a company, or if I really love something, I let everybody know. Yeah. And on the same token, if I have a poor experience that's really bad, I sure share that too. Right.
Because there's in real estate too, it's all referrals, and us too with food. There's so much food. It's like we really need to do the right thing with each transaction, because word of mouth and referrals is really what we're living off of, and then our reputation, so that we can,
And there's a lot of competitors in your space now too.
Yes, and it's anywhere now. I'm locally in Phoenix, you could say Urban Cookies, who is a friend of ours, or Urban Cookies, or Essence, or just really anybody, or the flowers. We consider the floral industry competitors, because it's a birthday. You could say flowers, or you could say cookies. And then, nationwide, there's kind of the bigger ones, Harry and David and things like that. But there's just new ones all the time, whether it's cupcakes or brownies, or just really anything. But what we try to do, our business buyers are very important to us, so we're always thinking, and I used to be in sales before we started the business. I worked for Univision, the Spanish television network. And so our business buyers are what's so important to us, and what we do with our customization of gifting, really no one in our industry really nationwide does. It's just that nobody knows about us because we're so little. I think a lot of people in Phoenix know about us, but but you can take a picture, of a home that you've just sold, and then on your phone you load it up and you say, welcome home Spitalny's, and we'll send it for you. And that's really, we try to just keep thinking of our buyers and how we can make it better for them, because we know how to make really good, consistent brownies, and we think our packaging always looks good, and we change it. But really what we're always thinking of now, besides our employees, is our customers. How else can we make it easy for you? Our goal is our mission statement, we call the Fairytale Journey, is to spread joy and simplify gift giving. So we're always trying to think of that. And in the beginning, it was with just getting the logos and calling the customers, and now it's about how to just make it easier on your mobile phone, or just doing whatever it takes.
I can speak from our experience. We send all of our clients and favorite people.
You're a very good customer. Yes.
Brownies on their birthday.
Yeah.
And we had always known about Fairytale Brownies, but we were actually sending Sprinkles cupcakes to people.
Okay.
And their ordering process, super complicated and also very expensive. And it just became prohibitive, as your clientele grow. Right. And so we shopped around, and we were looking, and we went to some of the different places. And what really obviously, the quality of the brownie is, above everything. But the packaging and the ease of ordering, especially when you need to do a bunch of them.
Right. Or if it's last minute,
Yeah, really kind of sealed the deal for us.
Oh, that's so great to hear.
Yeah, and the feedback has just been amazing. We get clients all the time tagging us on social media, like, check out what my realtor did for us. Your realtor doesn't do half this stuff.
What I got for my birthday.
Yeah, and it's just, it goes back to that word of mouth marketing. And I think the best marketing that we do is your brownies.
Yay, thank you.
And it's what we get the
Thank
most
you.
positive
Oh,
feedback
man.
on too.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, and all of that just makes me so happy because, right, it's helping you in your business. So because you're spending money,
Yeah.
so you want the payback, and then it just like makes me so proud as a owner, like that, because our team. I mean, I'm not there right now, and that means, but they know how to bake the brownies, and they know how to design the packaging and ship them, and you know, if you're talking to customer service, they know what to do if things are late, or where are they, or how do I track it, and so thank you. Yeah, it's
And I think having them individually wrapped too, like they keep for
they do,
longer,
they do,
which is really key
yes,
as well, because
yeah.
you know, people are trying to be more healthy, but they also want to indulge, but they don't want to eat, you know, the 4 to 6 cupcakes we were sending.
No.
It's just way too much.
Oh, right, when they're unwrapped.
Yeah,
yes,
and these tend to save longer, and so people can eat them a little bit over time.
That's a good little selling point. Thank you.
Yeah.
I will use that. Yeah, the unwrapped. But yeah, it is. It's nice. The individually wrapped is great. It's like the highest level barrier film we can use. And then people, we have what we call care instructions inside. So right, if you send it to somebody and it's a smaller family or a couple, they can put them in the freezer.
Yeah.
Too. Yeah. And I kind of just like things like that too versus food where it's set out and there's just fingers everywhere. And it's fun too with our flavors because we have 12 flavors, so it's kind of a fun thing for people to say, oh my gosh, a raspberry swirl brownie, what's that? Or toffee crunch. Or
Tell us about your different flavors. How have they, you know, what did you start with? I'm sure there was just kind of the basic brownie, and you know, have you tried flavors that may have not worked out? And
We started with the things we liked. We were like, what kind do you want, David? What do you want, Mike? We started with, I think, 6 flavors, like original. So when David's mom made these brownies for us growing up, she would make what she called plain, and then she would do walnut. So we call the plain the original. Like it's like the OG brownie that Nancy made. And now we use, you know, good Calabo chocolate. But so we started with about 6 flavors: original, peanut butter, mint. What else we have? I think white chocolate chip. And then just because things, again, like our background mine was in you know, in Hispanic marketing, and David's was in engineering. So we just, as bakery, we're like in a whole new world, but we both love food. So that's why this space is perfect for us. But we thought a dozen. So we basically always try to keep a dozen flavors. It just has kind of made sense for us with it, with the sizes. And then over time, because we have fans and customers that have been buying almost since the beginning, they'd always say, well, why don't you guys make cookies too, you know? So we do have 6 flavors of cookies. The brownies, as far as volume, outshines them. But it's nice for people gifting and things, you know, maybe to a birthday program like yourself that you do, you know, brownies this year. Maybe next year you do brownies and cookies. It gives people variety too, because they want to continue to work with us. And then we also have Blondie Bars, but we have flavors: the traditional original, walnut, chocolate chip, and pecan. But then we have toffee crunch, raspberry swirl, cinnamon cocoa, cream cheese. This is bad caramel. This is bad because there's 12 white chocolate.
I think you're making them hungry
mint
over there.
chocolate. And then in the Blondie Bars.
What's a Blondie Bar? I'm sorry.
So this woman today, she wouldn't quit emailing me and wait, I want a case of them. So Blondie Bar is like a brown sugar based bar, because there are people that really like chocolate and stuff, just isn't their thing. So a Blondie Bar is just kind of like, I guess one way to tell people, like, we have a chocolate chip Blondie Bar, and that's kind of like when you put the chocolate chip batter in a sheet pan and bake it as a big cookie and then cut it. That's like what a Blondie Bar. So it's more brown sugar based. And we have 6 flavors of those, which there's some delicious ones there too. There's the cinnamon crumb, which is like a coffee cake brownie. That's the one today that this woman was emailing me like, oh my God, those are the cinnamon. She called them cinnamon crunch, but I was like, yeah, those like the breakfast brownie, I call them. We have raspberry white chocolate chip, pecan, a lemon blondie, which is after my husband's grandmother's lemon cake, and So it's fun, like with the flavors, as far as we've had some come and go. We used to have an amaretto that's gone. Our coconut has come and gone. It's even had 2 lives of its own. So with the flavors, we do go in and out. And then the cookies, we've got some chocolate-based ones, and then like brown sugar-based ones. You know, we have regular chocolate chip, toffee chocolate chip, caramel pecan, but then we have double chocolate, mint chocolate, and coconut walnut.
Wow.
Yeah, and then
Lots of flavors.
Yeah, and then our brownies are kosher. We are also a kosher kitchen.
Okay.
So
Do
everything.
you do like vegan and gluten-free options?
We don't.
No.
I always think maybe a vegan, people I work with are listening, I always think a vegan brownie is something we could probably do. A gluten-free would be more difficult for us because we would have to do it in a separate kitchen.
Right.
And because of our production, and that's just really not in our budget. So I don't think that would ever be something. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then we do actually have 2 sugar-free, though. So we have our 3 sizes of brownies, and we have a sugar-free morsel-size brownie, which is nice because for those who have to watch sugar, it's more related to carbs. And
Sure.
so it's our small size.
So like a healthy brownie.
Sure. Yes. Yeah. I do have a friend that's a trainer, and she pushes our sugar-free. I'm like, I'll take it. I'll take it.
Very nice. So do you have, with 20, you said 27 years? Being open 27
Yes,
years?
yeah.
Do you have any, like, what's something that really stands out, like one of your most cherished kind of stories that you have? I'm sure there's many.
Yeah. Well, there's just so many. Actually, there's really so many special people have gotten to meet, because people love to share, like, the first time they have a Fairytale Brownie, and then kind of now what they do with them, and their stories, and how people move, and then when they move, and it translates. But I mean, Cherished stories, really, what I love is just in the beginning. I mean, we were so exhausted and tired and everything, but to have, to be starting a business with my, best friend, David, and he's still my friend, and we lived in Tempe then, and so my boyfriend, who's my husband, 25 years, Mike, helped us. Every musician in Tempe helped us because they always needed extra money, and a lot of those guys are in bands we've all heard, because that was a long time ago. And then we had all our moms helping, my mom's gone now, but like the moms came and helped wrap the brownies. So I mean, just the Cherished thing it was really like painful back then, but like it's pretty cool, all that made it happen now, and just lots of friends that we grew up, because since we grew up in Phoenix. But just, some of the cherished things too, like we do business with St. Jude, and like I was talking about, we can just there's no minimums with our customization, and so people do that with photos too, like of the family, and so they actually put like kids' art on it, and so just to see the ways that our product can help, a nonprofit or a company share their message, and just in a more touching way. And then, and working with Kaboom, we've been working with them since 2001. So to help build play spaces, I've helped myself, just being one of the owners traveling. I've helped with numerous outside of Arizona as well, like in Chicago, and built one with Michelle Obama. But here in Phoenix, we've helped build the most recent playground we helped was the Arizona Autism School over on Indian School.
Yeah.
So just to help provide them have a place. And this was actually more for middle school kids with autism, and usually it's younger kids, but they just also need a place for equipment and special places. So just, helping, helping people have like the opportunities. That's probably one of the most cherished things. And that's why we chose Kaboom too, because schools are being built without playgrounds now, and I just don't think it's good for the brains, especially when every kid's got a little device. So, it probably wasn't good before when there was no devices, and so they were bored and they would do whatever they did, play on an abandoned car or whatever. But now, like, just at least they were outside playing.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, anyways, I think Kaboom's really important to help with communities and playgrounds and schools.
That's great. Yeah, I'm involved with a local school that's a charter school in Phoenix. And
Okay.
they don't have a playground.
Oh, they don't?
No, no.
Do they want one?
Yeah, they
Oh,
do.
really? Yeah. What's the name of the?
Casa Academy.
Okay.
And so they're right now, they're a nonprofit charter school that was founded, maybe 6 years ago, I think.
Okay.
And we're in the process right now of trying to find them a full-time home.
Oh,
they've been
okay.
renting space
Right.
from a church. It's not a religious affiliated
Okay,
school, but they focus on kids right now. They just expanded their charter through 8th grade, but right now they're kindergarten through 2nd. Primarily, and these kids are all living below the poverty line. They're super impoverished. A lot of them are refugee kids, and English isn't their primary language.
Right.
And they're very behind in their education. So the school spends all of its time focused on reading and math. They do get to play. They get to play outside in games, but there's no playground equipment. And that's one of the first things I brought up when I joined the board was like, these kids don't get to play on any playground stuff. Like, that's such a tragedy.
It is, because it's like working together because the adults aren't out there, and so they got to get along, and muscle movement, coordination, and just breathing and all of that. I mean, I do have to say it's probably good to find a home before you spend the money.
Yes.
But Kaboom has started doing a new type of playground because a playground these days, really, it costs $100,000. And now they're doing these kind of lesser expensive ones. It's more like a sport court.
Okay.
So it costs less, and it's a great thing for a school because you decide what the kids mostly like to do. Is this a school where the kids like to do like volleyball and soccer, or is it basketball and volleyball? And so the sport court, the panels are different colors and lines, and so they're multi-use. And then on the end, they can have the side things for the volleyball. And then for the football, or do they need nets because they play soccer here? And
very nice.
So that might be at least a starter for them once they
I'll have the founder reach out.
They should, reach out to kaboom.org, because they do what they call lead builds or seed builds. And we raise money. We on our website, whenever you check out at brownies.com, we say, do you want to give the gift of play today? And then we match whatever our customers give. So we raise money all the time besides the open house. And so we kind of give them, unless we're building a playground ourselves, we just give them that money to use in the whole country. And that's kind of why we pick them too. Like, we're here in Phoenix, but our customers are all over.
Sure.
So, hey, you're, in Texas, how can you feel like you're, helping out by doing business with us? So, but a seed build means, maybe your school just needs some of the money, and then a lead build means you need help raising all of the money. But they're a great nonprofit that just helps organizations like CASA lead the journey of how to get a play space.
I think that's really great. I said it before. I think it's important for small businesses to give back to the community that they're in. So, and giving your customers the option to donate as well, I think is super important. Makes you feel good when you're, buying something and then it's $1 or however much you can donate to charity, and having it go to a worthy cause, I think is wonderful. Yeah, we do. We gotta keep our community healthy. And then what's nice about Kaboom is that the school gets involved too. So it's not really this thing that's put upon them like a donation. They actually have ownership and feel like they make it happen too. So they have statistics, kind of some of the play spaces. Sometimes, something gets built somewhere and then it might have graffiti, but that really usually doesn't happen with theirs because the whole community knows this thing's going to happen and knows it's a part of a healthy thing for the community, or they become friends with people that they've maybe always walked by, and because of this, kind of community building activity, which is the playground, they make new friendships, and so that's so
it's
cool.
Pretty,
So tell me a little bit about the brownie making process. You have 37,000 square feet and you're turning out a lot of brownies. What does that look like? It sounds super complicated.
We try to make it as simple as we can. So the brownie part, it means in January we talk to Belgium, and we, kind of guesstimate how much chocolate we're going to need from there, because we actually still buy them from them. And we buy bars that are about this big, and it's 100% dark chocolate, and it's called chocolate liquor. So, but really it is like mom's recipe, but exploded.
Yeah.
So, it's taking really good chocolate and butter. We put it into a melting pot, so like a double boiler, but a very fancy chocolate melter with a thin wall of water, and it keeps it tempered and nice. And then it kind of comes out like a chocolate river. You pour it in the huge mixer. Like at home it's like this, but ours is huge. And then add in the flour and the baking powder, and then it's a little bit of salt. And that's maybe the one mistake. Like if you're new, it's seasonal, maybe you think there's no way it's just that much salt for a thing this big, and it really is. So then we throw away a batch, but so then you add in your other dry ingredients, really, and we have safety guards for everything, because it is manufacturing, and then it gets moved over, and we have a bowl lift because it's just way too big for a person, and everything is done by weight. So it gets poured out into the large trays, and if it's walnut, then we do that. And we do it all by hand, the toppings primarily, because we've tried striping machines and depositing machines, and it just looks manufactured, even though we are a manufacturing company. But this is a homemade recipe, and these are high-end brownies. So we just weigh it, and we're not we're generous in our weighing. So if we're doing walnut, we just weigh it, and they know how much that is in walnuts. And then they just, do it with their hands, and they just try to cover every little piece with brownies. Yeah. And then we bake it in what's called a rack oven. So it has even heat. It's an oven where you push in the rack of brownies, and then it picks it up and turns it around. And when we started, we just had a bake oven, which meant, open it up, take it, and turn it around. And which is one trick at home, if your brownies aren't even, is to turn your tray. I tell people, or if you want it, and ours is a fudgy brownie. It depends if you want a chewy or fudgy. So ours is a decadent fudgy brownie, good mouthfeel after. But so you put it in and it turns around, and it bakes it, and then we bring it out, and then we cool it, and then we have a cutting machine, which was probably one of the first machines we bought, because we wanted to look like the big guys. And so we went to this huge show and found out there's a machine for everything. And so that our first thing was a cutting machine, which I think we probably bought with a credit card, 0% financing for 12 months. But so we, and then they get cut. So we have this automatic cutting machine, whether it's the 3-inch brownie or the 3 by 1.5 Sprite. And so it has blades, different sets of blades. The brownies get cut. There's no edges on a Fairytale brownie. Everything's a center cut. And then it goes through the wrapping machine, and it's called a horizontal line wrapper. So you see on the brownies, there's like that line underneath. So it goes through, and it does that, and then it actually gets a lot code sprayed on it, which is just part of our food safety. So if it ever needed to track it back because of like we were talking about salt butter that's too salty or whatever, we could find it. And it actually goes through a metal detector as well. And then we make them into gifts, and then, moves to the shipping team, and they ship them all over the world. But that's the process. I don't know if that was too much or
no.
But that's the process of making a Fairytale brownie.
I was thinking there'd be a lot more automation involved with the number of brownies that you guys are churning out. There
is some things we could do in our kitchen. We definitely have. It's definitely a challenge for us now at this stage. Some automation in a couple areas would be really helpful for us, for efficiency and just for tiredness of people. But as far as the bowl lift is probably in the cutting machine, but like the stuff we tried in there didn't really work. Like one machine that we have, which is great, is automation, is actually a pallet wrapper. So it's kind of some of the things actually out in the shipping too. But in our baking, we'd love to have a longer tunnel, like what they call a cooling tunnel that goes right into the wrapping, and we kind of have to do it a little more waiting game, bake the brownies, wait for the brownies. So there's things we can do. Automating costs money, and we are, we're still, David and I own it 50-50, kind of a self-financed place, and We do profit sharing with our employees, and we have a cash bonus for retirement. But, we're trying to always reinvest back in our company and our people. And, I don't know. Yeah, the machines, those are always on the list.
Yeah.
We do have some... There is a list of some ways to automate that would be.
It's always a balance,
good.
right?
Mm-hmm.
You want to put out a really good product. You want to provide for your team and your employees, but you also want to run as efficiently as possible. So finding that balancing act. So, it sounds like you're doing it right. You guys are putting out an amazing product. I don't think I've ever talked to anyone who hasn't enjoyed Fairytale Brownies. Okay. Yeah. So do you guys have any...
Oh, laser cutter. That's I know what they really want. They really want the laser cutter for the brownies. There's like a supersonic cutting machine.
Sounds fancy, and anytime the word laser's involved,
exactly.
I'm sure it's very expensive.
So just add some zeros. Yeah.
So is there anything on the horizon for Fairytale Brownies that we should be watching for?
Well, this time of year is when we're deciding. We kind of always bring everything out in the fall, like in a big bang. So, we'll definitely have new packaging designs. So all our gift givers, love that. What's new. Whether or not there may be a new flavor, or in our smallest size, the morsels, we actually just have 6 of our 12 flavors as morsels. So that's been a big thing. Like, hey, maybe it should be all 12. But also the Blondie Bars, which it sounds like you haven't tried yet, need to try. People love those, and we're like, well, maybe they need to be in little bite size and have like little party with the Blondie and Brownies being bite size. So there's a couple things percolating, but nothing decided right at this moment. But there's always something new.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah.
Do you guys have any specials coming up because what is Valentine's Day right around the corner?
Yes. Yeah, we will. We have beautiful packaging for Valentine's Day. And then Valentine's Day is fun because since we do photo gifts, it's a time, too, where...
Guys can get a little creative.
Guys can get a little creative. Yes, I'm helping you out. You can get a little creative.
Pull a photo from Facebook and throw it on the packaging.
Right,
yeah.
Or just a picture of the two of you when you first met.
Yeah.
Or if you have a puppy now, put your puppy on there and send it to work or hand deliver it to her at work. Or if you have a brand new baby, just the baby or something from the holidays. So the photo gifts are a good way to remind them that you love them. And then too, if your mom's far away, to ship your mom some brownies for Valentine's Day.
That's smart.
Too. Yeah, but we have, various...
Literally earn yourself some brownie points.
Yes, literally. Yes, yeah. So we do. We have a whole line of Valentine's Day packaging, but I think our what we can do with photo gifts, Valentine's Day is a good day. A good time, that and Mother's Day and Father's Day always makes you think of that, because then they keep it, especially we have these beautiful tins and wood boxes, so then they'll keep that, with the photo, or your wife will keep that, and then be like, really remember what you did for her on Valentine's Day, and that is a really smart thing to do. I
like it.
Because I've been married 25 years, so you just, it's good to be smart when you can, because we all have our down moments too, as people and spouses.
Yes, we do. And we'll just leave it at that.
Right, we'll just leave it at that.
So I always like to finish up with our guests, and you're a native Phoenician, so am I.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And
so where'd you go to high school?
Corona in Tempe.
Right. Yeah.
I was supposed to go to Dobson in Mesa, but we moved and ended up going to Corona.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And I'm a Bobcat, Central High.
Very nice. Very nice. So I always like to finish it up with some Phoenix-based questions. So I'm very interested to know, what is your favorite restaurant here in Phoenix?
So that's really hard, but I wrote, because I got to see these questions before.
Yeah.
So Ocotillo and F&B is what I put. Yeah.
I really like both those
Yeah.
choices. Yeah. Ocotillo is very good. And my wife actually used to work with the chef of F&B.
Was Charlene?
At
Ocotillo?
No, at F&B.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, maybe it was the previous chef, the guy who opened it.
Pavle?
Yes.
Okay. And where is... I'm sorry, you just said your wife.
I think it was at the Mauna Lucia. She used to work there.
Oh, yes,
and I think he worked there too.
Yeah.
And then started
Yeah.
F&B.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does your wife work at a restaurant now?
No.
Okay.
She was in marketing. So she was in marketing for the hotel.
Okay.
Yeah. Sorry.
But I would say those two. I don't know. There's so many. My
There
favorite
are.
is Mexican food. So
Yes.
really...
Have you been to Otro?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I've been to Otro. And I love... Well, because I used to work for Univision, so that was 30th Street in Hoover. And actually, 30th Street in Hoover, that was my college apartment. That's in L.A. 30th Street and Southern. And then the bakery now is on 48th Street and Broadway. So I'm still kind of in the same neighborhood. So I used to go to places down on Central and Baseline and on Rozier and El Petit. But now we've got all these other little ones. So, I mean, Mexican food is really what makes me happy. And there's lots of choices
lots of
around
good
there.
choices
And we're
down
by
there for
Guadalupe.
sure. Yeah.
So that, but Ocotillo and F&B, because, right, I kind of know some people there, too. And it
Sure.
always feels nice to have that extra love in the service.
Well, Ocotillo is such a great space, too, with the outdoor
Yes.
space that they have, especially during our nicer months. So it's got a very nice ambiance.
Yeah,
so.
I had a party for myself that was great there. Yeah,
very nice.
My big one. I guess we don't need to do
Yeah.
numbers. It was bigger than my wedding. It was fun.
Very nice. So are there any exciting places that you've discovered recently?
Well,
any new spots?
I was just sharing before the Pullman car inside Century Grand. So that
sounds really neat. So
that
I hadn't heard of that.
You got it. Yeah, and it really is. It's 3 businesses inside. And Sasha, who is the chef for the Century Grand, she used to work with, she was at Atlas and then up north at Soli Sombra, and she was at Ocotillo. So the chef there is amazing, Sasha. So the food is fantastic. But what's super cool, right, is it's bar. You walk into Pullman, and it's a train, and at first you walk in and you move because you're going by the scenery, but it's the screen that's moving, not you. And and it's winter time, so it's actually a little chilly in the bar. So dress warmly because it's kind of funny. You're like, wait, it's cold in here on purpose.
Now, were you saying that reservations only for it?
I think so. I don't know. I think there's still. Yes, it was reservations only when we were there. So, and I don't know if it's just like certain days, certain times, and then the cocktail was beautiful that I had. I don't remember what it was, but it actually came even with a little cookie on the side. So that was a lot of fun. Just to discover that place, and it makes me happy too that just the reuse of the space.
Sure.
Because it was an older building. And obviously creative people behind it, and they just, looked at the space and what can I do? It's just like in Restaurant Progress, you can feel the brick wall, and it's just great versus them leveling it to build this box, and then they would have put it in there. It's just the character is
I like
amazing.
it when they repurpose the older buildings like that. One of my favorite spots is Federal Pizza because I like the mid-century. Right. I just like the building that it's in, and
that was the bank.
It was a bank, yeah.
I had a savings account there, I think, when I was little.
I believe,
And then I wrote down because I love music. The other place I finally went to, and maybe it just took me a while, is the Van Buren.
Yeah.
And that is a great place.
It is a cool spot. I drive
show.
past that almost every day.
Because it's not too big. Because I like Marquee in Tempe, but again, I love the use of the old space. And I think that was a printing company a long time ago in Phoenix or something.
Yeah.
That's what somebody told me. So I would say those are my 2 little recent discoveries.
Nice. Those are 2 new ones. I like that.
Yeah.
What's your favorite neighborhood in Phoenix?
Where I live in Old Town Scottsdale.
Okay.
And it's so convenient, whether I got to go to the bakery, the airport, a spring training game, Phoenix, wherever. So, and I grew up in Central Phoenix. So to see Federal Pizza and Windsor and all that makes me so happy,
The whole kind of Central Phoenix area has gone through this revitalization, and it's super hip to live there.
I know.
And it's got this sense of culture, which, when I was a kid, you never really ventured into Central Phoenix unless it was for a Suns game, and then you got out.
Yep.
You didn't want to hang out.
Right, it's on the west side.
Right. All this cool stuff kind of going in has been really neat to see. And so I've really liked kind of the evolution of Phoenix.
Me too. I'm so proud. I just remember in Phoenix. And then the other place, really, to mention one more neighborhood, is Tempe. We, because after I went to college, came back, lived in Tempe with 2 friends in a house on 11th and Judd, and there's nothing better than living by, a college town, and ASU's fun, and Casey Moore's, and So I've got 3 favorite.
I like it. I grew up in Tempe, and I used to own a house near the campus. My brother still lives there, and it was some of the most fun I ever had. Being that close to Mill Avenue and just everything that kind of happens in downtown Tempe. Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's probably good for me to be by Old Town Scottsdale because there's a lot of crazy things that happen. So I guess that probably keeps me a little younger living in that neighborhood.
Yeah, and finally, what do you think? What's the best site in Arizona?
Well, that question made me think. The first thing that came to mind is really we are so lucky because the best site is the sunset that we are given as a gift every day.
Yeah.
I mean, it is amazing, and I am lucky enough to have traveled because my mom worked for American Airlines, and we have Arizona. I would say the sunsets. But the most special place, I think, is the bottom of the Grand Canyon at Havasu Falls and spending a couple nights down there. That would be my favorite special place.
That's very cool. Those are some new ones that our
Oh,
guests
good.
haven't dropped before.
Yes.
And you're right about the sunsets. I've been fortunate enough to do a lot of traveling, and I don't know if it's the dust in the air
Right,
or
that's what we
but
grew
the
up
colors,
knowing. It was the dust.
Yeah, the colors are just so vibrant. So
and
we
then
do
our
have killer
storms
sunsets.
pretty crazy, and then you smell the creosote after. And, so yeah, we're lucky here.
Very cool. So were there any topics that we didn't touch on that you wanted to cover by chance?
Well, I mean, the only thing I thought about is you asked about a piece of advice. I mean, I guess I just even having a business this long is just to ask for help. I mean, to really not be like, oh, well, I've been doing this for 25 years. I should know what I'm doing, or and to ask for help. And so whether it's in a confidential manner with other people in your space, or but I just think that's smart to ask for help. And I think the other thing is to always be learning, because this world is changing, and if we were doing business how we did a while ago,
we'd be out of business.
Right.
We'd be Blockbuster.
Yeah, exactly. So I think to continue to learn and just being open. I mean, nothing's I don't know. I just think there's so many possibilities for all of us. Yeah.
I think that's really important. As small business owners, you're a certain personality type, right? To run your own business and to kind of have the ego that you think you can do it on your own. And it's really important to recognize your weaknesses as a leader, as a business owner, and ask for help when you need it. It's not failing. Everybody needs help, and I also appreciate the comment that you made about the desire to learn and evolve your business, and you have to pivot and change at a moment's notice. Otherwise, you could be out of business.
Right. And maybe the person I'm learning from is 70 years old or 27.
Yeah.
I mean, there is, and something right now, we don't have an advisory board, but when you said weakness, it's like when we started our business, we just thought about what is our weakest links and let's ask for advice there. So we had an advisory board. And so like in the beginning, it was somebody that had a call center, somebody that was in food safety, somebody in legal, and just things to do, because we didn't talk about today, but when you create a brand, there's a lot of protection that goes into it. And
Absolutely.
you have to be really smart, and you do have to invest in that, because long term is just what you have to do if you want to keep the value there. So that's what we did. We would create like a little advisory board of where we needed help, and then we were lucky because we would pay them in brownies. So it worked very
You're fortunate.
well
everybody
for us.
pretty much likes
Yeah,
brownies.
Yeah. And then after a while, we could pay them, but they
Yes.
still wanted the brownies. So we did pay them and gave them brownies. Yeah.
Very nice. So if people wanted to reach out to you or they wanted to follow you on social media, how can they do that?
Well, Fairytale Brownies on Instagram is Fairytale Brownies, and on Twitter, FT Brownies. Facebook, we're Fairytale Brownies. If they want to contact me, I'm Eileen, EILEEN, @brownies.com, and they can email me. Yeah.
Awesome.
I'll respond.
Very
Yeah,
cool. Well,
thank
Eileen,
you.
thank you so much for your
Thank
time.
you.
I appreciate you coming on the show today, and I appreciate all you guys for tuning in. If you have any brownie needs, I highly recommend Fairytale Brownies. They are awesome. And thank you guys so much for tuning in.